Hi everybody, my name is Vanessa Warne. I teach in the Department of English, Theatre, Film and Media at the University of Manitoba. I'm really excited to welcome you today to a pop-up exhibit by students in the Material Cultures Seminar, which is both an honors and graduate class offered in winter 2025 here at U of M. Students for this course have explored 19th century literature through a lens of material culture, and they've made some extraordinary things. I hope this video will capture and give you a sense of their creativity, their complex and nuanced engagement with 19th century material culture, and the advantages of hands-on humanities approach, which these students have very courageously and creatively taken on. So enjoy their works. We are grateful for this chance to let their creativity shine. Thank you. So I'm pleased to have a chance to give you a little tour of our exhibit and show you some of the students' work. I'm just going to use my students' first names here. I'm going to start with Saffron. Saffron did some amazing experimentation with a wonderful technique called paper quilling, and has a wonderful three-dimensional work with paper, time-consuming and beautiful work that helped us engage with a novel by Oscar Wilde, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Here we have Mallory's work. Mallory gives us a whole wall of really gorgeous cyanotypes and a very evocative 19th century framed kind of construction here. Cyanotype is a complicated chemical process that the Victorians used to create beautiful images initially of botanicals, and then worked out. The term blueprint comes from these beautiful pieces. Heading down here, we see Morgan's extraordinarily ambitious and evocative work with hair, feathers, and then found objects. And this work is helping us to understand Victorian traditions around the use of both kind of materials sourced from animals and then materials sourced from humans. So we have these beautiful cameos surrounded by wired sections of hair. Moving on here, we're going to see Farah's piece, and Farah has given us a whole kind of set of pieces here, again experimenting with cyanotype, and her experiments included some beautiful work with gold leaf, and also some experimentation around cyanotype on stone, as well as a very evocative piece in which a glass rosary has been captured using this method. So we're looking at another kind of set of installations in our pop-up exhibit, and I'm actually going to start with Natasha's work. Natasha has offered us this really compelling piece of stitch work, of needlework, evoking 19th century practices around the crazy quilt. And those of you with a discerning eye will notice that she's done work in cyanotype and incorporated it. One of the things we look to see in a crazy quilt is a little bit of spider's web, and she's included that tradition. So really lovely work here, having us thinking about needlework traditions. I'm going to move to Shay's triptych here, which evokes in really powerful ways the novel again by Oscar Wilde, Picture of Dorian Gray, and we have these three stages, really compelling work done in watercolor to create a triptych, which is an evocative 19th century technique. We have from Haley here a really extraordinary engagement with Oscar Wilde's work. Again, we are seeing the notion here of an engagement through making with the literary history and the material culture of Oscar Wilde's work. Included here is A Poisonous Book by Dorian Gray. And we have here in Haley's work quite extraordinary bookbinding, quotation use, and of course ink work here. And it ends quite compellingly too, I can tell you. So really amazing material culture here. Abby's is not perhaps for the weak of stomach, and it is a very compelling and interesting piece. Abby is working with human hair, her own and family members, to create a really extraordinary kind of statement on 19th century memorial practices, including grief. And I'll just note she's also combined teeth in this. This is part of a larger exploration that Abby's involved in terms of literary texts that feature kind of human remains, human relics, hair and teeth being, of course, things that survive after the passing of a person and the decomposition of a body. changing tone here, I'm going to move us back to Emily's work here, and I'll just lift Emily's work up here. Emily has done some really extraordinary, high-level, very skilled quilted work here. And what's so compelling here is that Emily has taken a museum piece and she's copied it. So this is a work not just of kind of understanding the use of cotton, of fabric, of sewing methods in the 19th century around the quilt, but of actually exploring how to take an object from a museum collection and recreate it for scholarly purposes. Lastly, I just direct our attention, if we can, all the way over to Sean's work. So Sean offers us some really compelling work here in the form of 3 scrapbook pages. They invite us to think about Edgar Allan Poe's compelling novella, The Invisible Man, here in this very laborious scrapbooking work, which is, of course, about repurposing materials from the press into making. And then he also offers us an appropriately kind of gory, compelling, and complicated statement on a wonderful short story, Berenice, by Edgar Allan Poe. Picking up on our final 3 objects in our pop-up exhibit for material cultures, I want to start with Keenan's piece here. Keenan offers us a 3-dimensional kind of memory piece here, evoking the notion of kind of a depth through image creation here, and the notion of a kind of theater here constructed through paper. This is a memorial project for a beloved late pet, and we have this fascinating kind of coming together of digital methods with, you know, hands-on traditional paper cutting and positioning. Here in the middle, Indiana offers us a really interesting piece here that I, for one, am tempted to interact with. It evokes, again, Edgar Allan Poe's short story, Berenice. It's a box that explores in really complicated ways the notion of the human mouth and its depiction in a quite graphic, alert to readers, short story. And clearly, she's engaging here in complicated ways, histories of miniaturization. And lastly here, I want to just share Lillian's really amazing peep show here. It is also a very personal piece, recognizing her connection to a family farm, and it has, again, dimensionality. So when we look through this peephole, which is created out of a cyanotype, we see the 3-dimensionality of the farmyard inside. This is, again, exploring 18th, 19th century entertainment, paper art, so there's a connection there to Keenan's work, and together they offer us new ways of looking at the familiar by defamiliarizing it through their art practice.